Okay, welcome back to the channel. You can call me Pat. Today's topic, a restaurant in San Francisco faced backlash for refusing service to three police officers, especially when you know or you watched what's happening in San Francisco and the rise of crime, right? So let's go ahead and watch this clip. I also have a report for you explaining a little bit more of what happened over there in San Francisco with that restaurant and the response from one of the owner, right? So let's go ahead and watch this clip.
A new San Francisco restaurant is getting bad reviews online tonight, and it's got nothing to do with the food. Reviewers are reacting because restaurant staff refused to serve three uniformed San Francisco police officers this weekend.
NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintana has the story for us tonight.
Hilda and Jesse is a brand new brunch spot in San Francisco's North Beach neighborhood. They opened to customers November 1st. But if you check out their Yelp reviews, most of the ones posted this weekend are only 1 star. Reviewers are voicing disappointment that three uniformed police officers were asked to leave Friday morning. On Saturday night, people gathered for a private event there. The restaurant's co-owners declined an interview, but prepared a statement reading in part, "At Hilda and Jesse, the restaurant is a safe space. The presence of the officers' weapons in the restaurant made us feel uncomfortable. We respect the San Francisco Police Department and are grateful for the work they do. We welcome them into the restaurant when they are off duty, out of uniform, and without their weapons." Hilda and Jesse's decision to ask the officers to leave comes as the city continues dealing with the rise in crime. We asked a few locals what they think.
We don't think they should not be getting service.
Yeah, then if I'm in a restaurant and a police officer comes in wearing their uniform and everything, that's totally fine.
I'm also at a place of privilege where I can, ask for help and it happens. So I've never felt that way, but for other people they might.
We learned the restaurant's owners met with officers at Central Station this morning to discuss what happened. Tonight, the San Francisco Police Officers Association issued this statement. 3 foot-beat officers looking to eat where they patrol are treated without any tact or class by this establishment. Fortunately, there are plenty of restaurants that don't discriminate and will welcome officers working to try to keep all San Franciscans safe. In San Francisco, Sergio Quintana, NBC Bay Area News.
Okay, so that's the report. So I have a response for you here from one of the owner for that restaurant, and Stanley Roberts, official response from one of the owners of Hilda and Jesse. Our restaurant is a safe space, particularly for queer and BIPOC individual, BIPOC, Black indigenous and people of color individual. Furthermore, the fact that they were in uniform with multiple weapons on them made our staff uncomfortable and potentially other guests. So they were asked to leave. We will happily welcome them off duty, out of uniform, and without weapon. We're sorry that the decision upset you. We understand your perspective and we hope you'll consider ours. The fact that they went there means that probably police officer went to that place before, I think, right? Or maybe that was the first time they saw a police officer walking in and they just thought, oh my God, they have guns. Are they going to shoot us? Obviously, I'm not promoting violence. I'm not saying violence is bad, right? So anyway, that's the report. Shout out to the Getaway Pundit for that official response from the, one of the owner. But we also have here from the Law Enforcement Today. Law Enforcement Today has a very good report on what happened. It says, this is our safe space and they have weapon. San Francisco restaurant refused service to uniform cops. So this report is from Today. So, San Francisco, California, a restaurant in San Francisco is defending its decision to refuse service to police officers because they did not feel safe since they were armed. The co-owner somehow believed that their restaurant is a safe space, and as such, they do not have to serve anyone, including officers who have weapons. All right? This is a crazy story. So, the three uniform on-duty San Francisco police officer, they decided that they wanted to have lunch at the restaurant, Hilda and Jesse. While it is usually more than acceptable to have uniform police officer at any business as it deters crime inside, right? Think about it. If bad guys come to a place and see police officers there, they think, "Ooh, maybe we shouldn't go over there because I saw a police officer sitting over there before. They might be there if you're trying to, go there and rob them." All right. I'm not promoting violence again. So you think you'll be usually acceptable, right? I've been to many places where there was police officer inside and nothing ever happened. So the employee inside of the store were just not having it. So it was the employee, and eventually told them that they had to leave. It will seem reasonable, especially in a violent crime-ridden city like San Francisco, right? That business owner will be begging for an uniform presence inside of their location, since shockingly, most criminals will avoid those areas to commit crime, right? However, that is not the case in Hilda and Jesse's, as the presence of law-abiding law enforcement officer somehow made the restaurant feel unsafe since they were armed, okay? So the chef and co-owner of the store, Rachel Silcox, spoke to ABC News and not only confirmed that this happened, but incredibly stood by the decision. Silcox defended the move, saying that she had nothing against the police officer and somehow supported the police department. Rather, it was because they were armed, as police officers are required to be. I'm like, really? So that lady, every time she goes to a place and she see police officers, she just change direction, walk back. This is just crazy, bro. This is crazy. So she told the outlet, it is not about the fact that we are anti-police. It is about the fact that we do not allow weapon in our restaurant. We were uncomfortable and we asked them to leave. It has nothing to do that they were officers. It has everything to do that they were carrying guns. Wow. It says here, interesting how she said the fact that we are anti-police. Isn't that funny? So Silcox reiterated that refusing the officer's service had nothing to do with them being officers, as they would have asked any armed security guard to leave as well. All right. She said that those officers or any other are more than welcome to dine in their establishment, provided they are not in uniform or armed. Well, this is her decision. It is her establishment, but I am against it. I feel like most of police officers are good police officers. There are bad police officers out there, yeah, right? But it doesn't mean a police officer getting into a place meaning that you are going to get hurt. I think that was just a silly decision. That was kind of dumb, in my personal, humble opinion, right? So she said, we understand how much the police support and protect the community. We want to, again, reiterate the fact that this is about guns being in our space and we don't allow it. When I say space, like our safe space, you already know, right? They're probably like woke leftist and something like that. So the restaurant even went to Instagram to defend his decision. On Friday, December 3rd, this is when it happened, 3 armed and a uniformed San Francisco police officer. If they're a police officer, you don't have to say 3 armed police officer. Police officer came in to dine at Hilda and Jesse. Shortly after seating them, our staff felt uncomfortable with the presence of their multiple weapons. We then politely asked them to leave. So it's all about the way you feel. At Hilda and Jesse, the restaurant is a safe space. The presence of the officer's weapon in the restaurant made us feel uncomfortable. I'm just repeating myself here. So anyway, here you have it. We also have a response from the San Francisco Police Department Chief Scott. He says, community engagement is a core principle of San Francisco Police Department 21st century police reform, and we are intentional about asking our officers to support local businesses and get to know those they are sworn to safeguard. All right. And then it goes on by saying, the San Francisco Police Department stands for safety with respect, even when it means respecting wishes that our officers and I find discouraging and personally disappointing. All right, so that's the story. And right now they're receiving a lot of one star online for their restaurant because they refuse to serve police officer. Me personally, I always had a very good interaction with police officers my whole life. But you let me know in the comment section what do you think about this story. This is pretty crazy how they don't feel safe somehow with police officer in a state, in an area, San Francisco, where crime is just going crazy, right? Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Thank you and God bless you.